I've flown over fires, floods, even active war zones. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the day I had to land a rescue helicopter in my own backyard to save my pregnant wife. And you won't believe why some HOA president with platinum hair and a luxury SUV thought visitor parking rules mattered more than a human life. Yeah, that happened. It was a regular Tuesday. I was on duty at the rescue base 15 minutes from home, checking weather patterns, when my phone buzzed. My wife Emily never calls during shift unless it's serious. I picked up, and instantly I knew something was wrong. Her voice was shaky. "Jake, something's not right. My head's pounding. I'm seeing spots. I think it's preeclampsia. 8 months pregnant, nurse practitioner." She knew the signs. My chest went cold. I told her to lie down, breathe slow, and keep the front door unlocked. I called 911, then told my base commander I had to go. Didn't even need to explain, the man just nodded. But before I even lifted off, Emily called again. "They're here, but they can't get in." "What do you mean they can't get in?" She said the HOA president was standing in front of the ambulance, arms folded, demanding a visitor permit. Wouldn't move. Threatened to fine them. Swore she was just enforcing the rules. I could hear the paramedics arguing in the background. "Ma'am, this is a medical emergency." And then, that woman said, if it's so urgent, maybe he should have called a helicopter. So I did. I radioed the tower Lifeline 6, requesting emergency residential landing clearance, ambulance access blocked, preeclampsia, 8 months pregnant. They granted it. I took off. From the air, I saw it all. The ambulance stuck at the gate, Emily's house in the distance, and her, the HOA president, Deborah Cranston, perfectly parked white Lexus blocking the entrance, standing there like some suburban Queen Arms crossed. I told the paramedics to prep her. I was landing. As I came down, rotor wash tore through Pine Valley Heights, flags flapping lawn chairs, flying flower beds, getting stripped bare. The wind scattered Deborah's fancy roses all over the street. I saw her yelling, but the engine drowned it all out. Pretty sure she was saying, "You'll pay for this." I landed in our backyard, barely missing the swing set frame we'd just built. Neighbors came out filming with their phones. Didn't care. I sprinted inside. Emily was pale, sweating, her voice barely audible. "You really landed," she whispered. "Yeah," I said. "Let's go." We carried her out just as Deborah stormed across the lawn, screaming about rules and noise ordinances. "You've destroyed community property. You'll be fined for this." But before she could get in my face, our neighbor Tom, ex-Marine, lives 2 houses down, stepped between us and said, "Not today." "Deborah," she actually stopped. I lifted off with Emily in the back and made the 15-minute flight to East Bay Memorial in 10. She was rushed inside. I stood alone on the helipad, helmet still on, soaked in sweat, when my phone buzzed again. Email from the HOA emergency meeting. Disciplinary action required, of course. Emily stabilized overnight. I barely slept. Next morning, I showed up to the HOA meeting in my flight suit, still covered in dirt. Place was packed. Deborah front and center, wearing a pink blazer, gavel in hand, like she was Judge Judy. She went on and on about violations, noise pollution, property, damage, endangerment. Showed pictures of torn flower beds, scattered mulch, one poor gnome face down in the grass. Proposed a $10,000 fine, a public apology. Landscaping repairs. I let her finish. Then I stood up, plugged in my laptop. "Here's the video," I said. ambulance blocked, paramedics begging her to move. And here's her saying, and I quote, "should have called a helicopter." So I did. The room went dead silent. Then Amanda, an attorney who lives on Elm Street, stood up. "Just so we're clear, blocking emergency medical access is a crime. Not an HOA violation, a crime. Section 8.2 of the bylaws guarantees immediate access for medical personnel." Tom stood up next. "She's done it before. We all stayed quiet. My brother died in another HOA because an ambulance was delayed. Not this time." That changed the air. Even some of Deborah's board started looking real uncomfortable. Then my phone buzzed again. Emily. "Jake." My water broke. I bolted out of that meeting like it was a fire drill. This time the ambulance got in. No Lexus blocking the way. We reached the hospital, but there was a complication. The baby was in distress. The doctor said they needed a specialist. And the fastest way, you guessed it, I told him, "I'll fly." 15 minutes later, I had the specialist on board. And when we landed back, I saw something I'll never forget. Neighbors waiting outside. People I'd barely spoken to holding signs. One kid handed me a juice box. Greg the vet grinned. "Vote happened anyway," he said. "She's out." Unanimous. That night, our daughter Lucy Grace came into the world. Tiny, strong, beautiful, a miracle. A week later, we had a block barbecue. Greg handed me a small sign painted by the neighborhood kids. "Emergency helicopter landing zone. Mitchell residence." It's still in our backyard. As for Deborah, she left quietly. Dropped off a personal check to cover the fines and a note. For Lucy. And for what I should have done differently. No grand apologies, no drama. Just quiet accountability. Sometimes, yeah, it takes a helicopter to make people see what matters. Sometimes breaking the rules is how you do the right thing. And sometimes the only way to fix a broken neighborhood is to land in the middle of it. What would you have done? Was I reckless or right? Would you have waited for the police or flown straight home like I did? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand. Because this wasn't just about my family. It was about how far someone's allowed to go in the name of rules, and what happens when good people finally say enough.